Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ladies Flint Talk Show today. I pray that you all are well and blessed and highly favored. Y'all know how I do it. You know how I do it. So let's get to it. You guys will never guess who I have on today. Somebody who I've really admired since I was a young girl singing, and who is one of my biggest fans. I can say that and still be humble. Miss Dorothy LOWERY. Will you guys please show her some mad love and respect, a pillar in our community who is sharing her gifts with us. Yay! Hello, and how are you?
Hi, I'm blessed and highly favored.
Highly favored. That's right.
Yes.
You're so beautiful inside and out. I've been wanting to get you on this show forever. And I know I say that about everybody, but really, I mean that when I say that. I absolutely adore you. You have adopted me and your family since day one. And I feel the love and the respect. I really do. I love you so much. I love you. Oh my gosh, you were so amazing to me. Incredible human being.
Thank you, Felicia. And it goes both ways. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. So let's get started today, shall we? Let's dive in.
Okay. All right.
First of all, I said your name, but I would like for you to tell everybody what's your name, where you were born, how long have you lived where you lived.
My name is Dorothy Powell LOWERY, and I was born and raised in West Palm Beach, Florida, and I've lived here all my life. Which is, I don't want to tell you my age.
No, you don't have to.
It's okay. I don't really mind. I'm 80-something years old. 82.
Get out of
82,
here. Look
82.
how good she looks, y'all.
And
what a blessing.
Proud of it.
You should be.
Glad to be here.
Wow. So did you live in West Palm Beach all of your life, or because you live in Delray, correct?
I live in Delray now.
Okay.
But I was born and raised in West Palm Beach, Florida. Really spent most of our younger days in West Palm Beach, Florida.
Right.
Between 3rd Street and Rosemary Avenue. Rosemary now, back in the day, it was really a pretty nice place to be. It was. So my parents were down here. I was down in West Palm.
Yes,
they started out, we lived on 2nd Street in Rosemary, then we moved to 3rd Street between Tamarind and Division and all that, and then we finally ended up in Riviera because of the storm. But we grew up basically, in the West Palm Beach area, but my time down in between 1st Street, 2nd Street, and 3rd Street, we had some beautiful memories of that time, because back in the day, everybody knew everybody, and all your neighbors were just like your parents, and you did whatever they told you to do, which is very different today.
Oh, it's very different today. They'll tell you what their child isn't doing. Yeah. Isn't that something? I grew up like that too. We, in the neighborhood, so that's a blessing to have experienced something like that. That's a blessing. Yeah. So while you moved to Delray, this was after you got married, correct?
Yes, I got married right out of high school, really.
Oh wow! Yeah. Okay, that's beautiful.
Right out of high school, I attended Roosevelt High School, and met my husband through some mutual people, and his sister. All of us, we kind of got to know each other very well. We were like a family.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And when we got married, we stayed with his aunt and Pop, we call him. Pop was a pillar of the community, and he didn't book no nonsense. And it was on Rosemary. They were located almost on 11th Street, and behind 11th Street there was Wrinkles, which was a company.
Wrinkles Cement. Right, I remember them.
Yeah. And because I guess the smell of the cement and all of that stuff really was getting to Pops, And I give Pops his due because he really was a smart man. He was very astute. He was a businessman. He owned that plot. And while I'm on that vein about talking about their area, I just want everybody to know about Rosemary.
Yes.
From First Street going south, that was all black-owned businesses.
Yes.
Black-owned businesses.
Please speak upon that, please.
Black-owned businesses which were very profitable. And that's why it's so discouraging now to see what's going on in the black community so far as being business owners. But from First Street and Rosemary all the way back up to Division, up towards the north area there, there were black-owned businesses. Carl Robinson had a grocery store on one corner of the street. Directly across from him was Dr. Diet, who had a drugstore combination.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Down the street from where Carl Robinson was located, you had Valdez. We call him Valdez. He was a barber. He owned his own place. Next to Valdez, you had B. Page, who was a dry cleaner. He owned his own dry cleaning store.
Amazing.
An alleyway separated that area, and we lived up the alley, and those are houses back up in there. But down the street from Valdez and going on further down, there were other businesses, but the big one that was on the corner was a place called Buck's Barbecue.
Okay. Buck's Barbecue.
And he had the best barbecue in town. People, even the white people, would come and get some of the barbecue from Buck's. But across from Buck's was the Grand Theater. That was a black theater, you know. It was really big, it was really nice, and it was a very profitable business. It was a grand.
Sound like it was booming back then.
It was booming, and I mean, all down Rosemary were black-owned businesses, and that's why it's so discouraging to see what's going on now. What they call Rosemary Square, because in Rosemary Square right now, I don't see any black businesses, but all of those were black-owned businesses.
Wow.
From First Street, from Second Street, because First Street was where the dividing line was.
Right.
Actually, on the corner of Second and Rosemary was the jail, the county jail.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Oh.
The county jail. It was a one-story building, just one story, and it was right next to this grocery store called Mays. Mays was a grocery store. My brother worked there, and he was black, and there was a guy that was his friend called not Lil Joe, but Joe. They were the two black boys that worked in that grocery store, and the grocery store were owned by Mays, the Mays family, which eventually built another Mays out in Northwood. But
now that not being cut you off, I'm sorry. But that Mays that's in Northwood, what is that business? Is it still a grocery store?
I don't think it's still a grocery store. I don't know what it is now.
Okay.
But they had their second grocery store out there in Northwood. But all along Rosemary Avenue, which they call Rosemary Square now, or whatever they call it.
Yes,
it was called Rosemary. And here's the kicker. At one point, Rosemary was known as the bucket of blood. And they called it the bucket of blood because there was always some fighting. Somebody got shot, somebody got killed, but just shot or cut or whatever. But the black business owners, they didn't have any of that nonsense going on in their business.
Of course not.
Yeah. These were things that was happening in the streets. That's why they said it was a bucket of blood.
Oh, wow.
But it did not happen in none of those establishments. And you know why, Felicia?
Why is that?
Because those black business people didn't book no nonsense. Like I said, Carl Robinson had a grocery store. Dr. Dyson had the drugstore. B. Page has his dry cleaner. The Grand Theater was on the corner of 4th and all down the Rosemary Avenue till you got to 11th or 10th Street. And there was a guy that, I think he was from the Caribbean, and because we call it the Conch Shell.
The Conch Shell.
The Conch Shell restaurant, and that was a hot spot for getting the best conch and
seafood.
Caribbean food, seafood, whatever you like there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now I have a question. You said something about, is it Bucks? I think you said barbecue, correct? Now, are there any of their descendants, the children, grandchildren, nieces and nephews, or anything like that, that's running a barbecue stand or picked up the business and put it elsewhere, or no? You don't know?
No, I do know what happened because Bucks, because he had no dependents and everything, and when he got ready to retire, here's a funny thing: when he got ready to retire, my husband and his brothers and some of their friends, they had formed this club called the Young Men's Club. They were very different, came from different backgrounds and all that. But they would meet up at Bucks and play the jukebox and play cards, and you know, it was just a family type, I mean, for them.
Right.
Atmosphere. And so when Bucks got ready to retire, everybody was upset because he had the best barbecue in town. I mean, white people would come sometimes and get barbecue from there, you know.
Right.
So when he got ready to retire, he taught the Young Men's Club, they call themselves. They asked him, let them rent out the place, and they would hold their club meeting there, and they ran the place, and they would make money and all that kind of stuff.
And how long did they do that?
They did that for a while. I don't really know exactly how long they did it, but they did that for a while. Now, here's the funny part. My husband, Rufus, who was a teacher and all that, and his brothers and their friends, all of them congregated there, and they loved to play bid whist. And that was the reason why they asked Buck to let them get the club continue. Not so much that they couldn't do the barbecue like Buck, you know,
of course,
but just to use his facility, and they used that for their club meetings and things for a while. Oh
wow! Yeah. Okay, so let's get into your teaching, where everybody knows you're from, because you're such a pillar in the community. Now, I heard you say that you were on the school. You worked for the school district.
Yes.
So explain to us exactly what did you do for the school district, and how long did you do it?
Okay. Well, let me just tell you, I started out as an aide in the school district because I got married right out of high school. Met my husband. He was one of the brothers that hung out at the Bucks and everything. But right after we got married, and we moved from where we were staying,
right,
out in Riviera. But in the meantime, we stayed with his aunt and Maddie, and her Pop. They call him Pop now.
Right.
Pop, I really want to pay props to Pop. He was an astute businessman. He had bought that place. He bought his home, and that's where they were living, which was right across the street from Bucks, the barbecue place.
Right.
And because I guess
this was
the power
after you got married.
After we got married. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so after you got married and after you moved from Pops, you moved to where?
We moved to
in Carver. Was it Carver Park? Or
actually, we moved to Riviera first.
Okay.
And then we moved to Carver Park.
Okay, so is that when you started teaching?
That's when I started
you moved
teaching.
to Carver Park.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how long did you stay with the school district? So you said you started out as an aide.
I started
correct?
out as an aide.
Okay, you started out as an aide,
Mm-hmm.
and then what did you do? You worked your way up to district, correct?
I started out as an aide, went back to school, got my degree, started teaching, and then moving from the teaching position to what they call a primary resource teacher, which was a position that helped teachers in their classroom.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
Primary resource teacher, and we would go in and we would observe classes and help if we saw things that needed to be done or whatever. So we were like an go-between between the district and the school
So you were the voice actually for the school district, correct?
Yes,
Correct.
yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then how did you transform, do the transformation from the resource teacher you said to the school district? How did you get to that point?
Okay.
And how long did you stay there for that?
After I decided that I wanted to do more with my life than just be a resource teacher and everything, I just took some classes and I got my degree in business administration and supervision.
Good for you. And all of this while you were raising your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal woman.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal woman.
Yeah.
Perfect example with kids.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
so you went back to school and you got your degrees, and then what happened after that?
After I went back to school and I got my degree, like I said, I started out as a resource teacher. Then I moved up from there to an assistant principal.
Mm-hmm. And what school was that? What school was that you were the assistant principal?
At J.C. Mitchell.
Oh, wow. I went to J.C. Mitchell.
Yeah. And J.C. Mitchell turned out to be a very beautiful place to work. The atmosphere was totally different with teaching.
Wow, I bet. With the students.
With the students and the whole concept of, the whole concept of being a teacher, an administrator, and working with parents, it was a difference. Parents worked very closely with you. You were able to talk to the parents. You could bring them in for meetings. They were very, especially
hands-on.
And especially the experience that I had at J.C. Mitchell. Like I said, I started out teaching in there and then moved on up the ladder. And then I did do at Boca Middle.
I went to Boca Middle too. I wish you were there when I was there.
Assistant principal there.
Wow. So how long were you the assistant principal at Boca Middle?
I kept that position until I moved up the ladder and became like.
That's with the district, correct?
With the district.
Okay. Now, how long did you work with the district?
Palm Beach County School District?
Yes. How long after you left the assistant principal from Boca Middle,
mm-hmm.
you transitioned into the position at Palm Beach District,
mm-hmm.
Palm Beach County School
mm-hmm.
District? How did you make that transformation from there? Did you take other classes, or were you offered the position, or what was it? Was it created, or how did you do it?
No, I didn't take other classes because the degree that I had allowed me from the beginning to be, except for the supervision, administration and supervision degree.
Okay.
I had to go back and take a couple of courses there, but moving up the ladder from
an aide to there,
teacher,
amazing.
to assistant teacher, assistant principal, to administrator in the district. That's how I made the transition.
Now you see, ladies and gentlemen, this is a perfect example of somebody who wanted it and worked while she was married with a husband and kids, raising her kids, going back to school. See, you can start. See, you make one step, God will make two. And see, you just keep the faith and just go back to school and get that experience, because there's nothing like experience. But when you got something behind it, she got the degrees and she went back to school. So what was your position in the school district, in the Palm Beach County School Districts? What was your job title there, and what did your job consist of?
I'm trying to think what they gave us the title of, but my job consisted of traveling to recruit teachers to Palm Beach County.
Okay, now let me stop you there. You said travel. Where did you travel to and from to find teachers?
All over.
All over?
Yeah, we went to especially we would go to like HBCU schools.
Gotcha.
Talk to the administrators there, talk to kids there about going into education, and then gleaming from what they were doing, gleaming for them a future, as being teachers and all that. But we really were going out and recruiting the best of the best to come to Palm Beach County to come and teach in our district.
So you weren't just going to HBU schools, you were going to like high schools as well, or just the colleges itself?
No, we were going to the colleges itself, not the high schools.
Oh, just the colleges? Okay,
yeah,
okay,
we went
gotcha.
to the we went to the colleges to talk to the students, to tell them about, and to share with them what working within the school system
consisted
of,
right,
and what they could bring to the table working with the kids, especially some kids like had difficulties, and so we were looking for ESE teachers, what they call special ed teacher. We were looking for just what you would call, I can't think of the words.
That's okay.
But teachers, we really were recruiting all teachers, but we want the best of the best of the best.
Best of the best of the best.
And so, especially teachers that had something to offer, you had to be very careful who you were,
right,
doing your spiel with. But we
right.
were very successful in Palm Beach County, and you were competing with other counties. So
as well, as well. And how long did you work for the school district up until you retired?
I worked for the school district for, how many years did I work? I started when I was right out of school. So
maybe 30 years or more, sounds like to me.
It was more than 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was more than 30.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing. And we thank you for your gift and your time and your talent. Now I'm going to just speak a little bit on your passion for Christ and your family, and then we're going to wrap it up. So I heard you tell me that is your number one passion, of your family, Christ first in your family, which I think is so beautiful. Speak upon that, and then we're going to wrap it up.
Okay. Well, we were brought up in a Christian home. My mom and dad, Lula Mae and Eugene Powell, and Eugene Powell didn't play the radio and stuff. So, and we had to go to, not only did we have to go to Sunday school, you had to go to Sunday school, you had to go to BYPU, which was Baptist Young People Training,
the convention,
BTU, and then night service, all on one Sunday, So we were brought up in very strict Christian upbringing. And I must say that we had some very dynamic ministers, pastors, preachers, whatever they want to call them. Back in the day, they said preacher. And Reverend Connor, all the pastors that taught us at New Bethel, we all came to New Bethel.
Right.
Because all my mom's sisters and their husband and all, they
Just
all
a
went.
Family church.
It was a family church, New Bethel Baptist Church. And Reverend D.N. Connor and his wife, I'll give them their props, because they were very serious about teaching you the Word of God, teaching the Word of Christ.
Exactly.
And that was a big part of our upbringing.
And that spilled over into your married life with the kids.
Absolutely.
And everything.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful.
Absolutely. It's God.
And you can tell that by your kids. I have the blessing of knowing some of your kids, and you and your husband, God bless him, did an amazing job.
Thank you.
Amazing. You're beautiful. Like I said, I absolutely adore you. You have accepted me and your family since day one.
Oh.
And I just, you're so beautiful.
Accepting you are so easy to accept. You're
so
beautiful.
Sweet.
No,
So
I want people to understand the beauty of Felicia. She's real,
God,
and she's a real person. You're real.
Thank you
and you're so
much.
beautiful, and you're so talented. And
Thank you. Oh my gosh. You do know this is your show. You're going to make me cry. Thank you so much.
No.
To God be the glory, to God be the glory. But you do know that this show is about you today.
Yeah.
Thank you. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. But there you have it. We have Miss Dorothy Lowery. She's a pillar in our community. Much mad love and respect to you, and all thanking God for your gifts and sharing it. And as you've heard her beautiful story of becoming an aide, she worked her way up as she was married and was raising her kids. So if she can do it, guess what? You could do it too. Yes, yes, yes. So with that being said, we're going to say good night. We love you. Thank you for coming, and I'm going to have you again. Positivity, positivity. So I love you. Thank you, Diaspora TV, for having such a beautiful show as this and all the rest of the shows. Mr. Allen, we love you to the moon and back, to infinity and beyond. And Mr. Donald, please like and subscribe. Good night. Say good night.
Good night.
We love you. God bless. Blessings. Blessings. Mwah.
Thank you.